Greetings, borderline lovers and YouTube lovers, um, my poetry lovers. Anyways, hopefully this is going to be a quick video. I think back in April or May, maybe earlier, I predicted that 2015 was going to be a shitty fucking year, and my prediction came true. In December of 2014, I had a lot of anxiety that continued through January, February, March. I started having panic attacks. I get over that, and then I started having insurance problems. That just created more anxiety. That was a lot of frustration. That required me to write the senator of the state on like 2 occasions before that finally got taken care of. And that was probably about a 2-month process. I think had I not been so exhausted with the anxiety, I think it probably could have been done a lot sooner. And I think what part of the frustration is got to be kind of complex, and had the person that I guess was kind of responsible for getting, advising me on what to do and all that. I think had he just made the call in the first place, everything would have been resolved a lot sooner, but he was trying to tell me what to ask for and what to say and coach me on that. And then I made the calls and nobody knew what I was talking about. So that required another letter to the senator. This guy calls me back, says he'd take care of it. He did. And had he just done that in the first place, it would have been a lot easier, but something that probably could have been resolved within a month ended up taking me about 2 months. And then got that resolved, and then I have PayPal and PayPal credit, and got an email one day saying they had to decline a purchase, which I didn't make, so I had to call them, try to get that resolved, and that requires going down to the police station, filing out a police report, and sending that to PayPal credit. And I had hoped to get that reestablished, but that required me to make copies of documents and fax all that in, and I'm nowhere near a fax, so would have liked to have had that reestablished, but that was never done. And then somebody else tried to reopen the PayPal credit, and so I had to call and try to take care of that, and they basically just said, don't worry about it, it's not going to be reopened unless they provide the documents. So that's where that is. And then with my son's sports team, they had a really great spring season, and then there was a falling out with the coach of the team. And one thing about me is I'm not going to be treated like shit. I'm not going to be pushed around, and I have a strong personality, and I think he made the assumptions that I needed him, and that will never work with me. So it's just basically, after that, it was just kind of a, fuck you, I'm done with you, and went back to the team that I had originally started, which is something that I really didn't want to do because I didn't think, I just think my son was playing with higher quality or more advanced players, I guess would be a better way of putting it. So I had to make some adjustments there, but that the issues with me and the coach of that team, extended long after I left the team, and he tried to interfere with, really my son's progression in the sport. So that was frustrating. That created a lot of animosity. I'd taken my son to a tournament in, I think, July, and it should have been like a 45-minute drive home. On the highway, my van starts to overheat. Antifreeze is coming out of the van. So, 45-minute drive home. It took about 3 hours. It was a matter of the mechanic that had worked on it really didn't hook the hose up properly. Didn't fix it really the way it should have been fixed. And so basically it was a crawl all the way back home. It was basically fill up the reservoir with antifreeze, drive a little bit, fill it up more with antifreeze, drive a little bit more, pull in to a convenience store, buy a couple jugs of antifreeze, and that's basically how I made it home. So that just added to the stress, and that would have been July. The issues with the coach was taking place in August and September. And it seems like there was some other shit that took place in September and October, although I'm just not remembering what they are. It'll probably come to me once I finish this video. And then I think I saw my psychiatrist in, I don't know, maybe November, possibly October. I want to say November though. And, I've been with him for about 7 years. He kind of knows my history, and so I'm going on about my frustrations with the year and everything that's been bothering me and all the anxiety. And at the end of the appointment, he tells me that, he hates to add to the anxiety, but he's closing his practice. So that was more stress that I had to deal with. And, it seems like all through the year it's been like one problem. Once I get done with that, there's another problem that arises. I get done with that. There's another problem that arises. I get done with that. And it just keeps going on and on and on to where now I'm physically and mentally exhausted. And last night I was up to about 5 o'clock in the morning. Now it's almost 2 o'clock. And so I had to, just doing simple things have been really complicated for me. I needed to find out my son's bus that he needed to take home from school. That should have been a really simple process, but that probably took me about 30 days to do that just because of all the dread. It was just something else that I had to do, and I didn't have the energy to do it. I didn't have the thought of having to talk to somebody on the phone created dread. And I had to deal with trying to find a new psychiatrist. That was something that I just started working on like Thursday or I want to say Thursday of last week, and you know, that was something else that probably took roughly 30 days. So that was, that's a pain in the ass, and that's frustrating because it's one, starting over with somebody brand new and try to find someone new, and it seems like all these places, it's a unit, I guess, where there's, the psychiatrist, but they also have their therapists that work within the office. So basically, see that psychiatrist, you have to end up seeing their therapist. And for me, I've been with my therapist now for a couple of years, and it's just, she knows my history and everything that bothers me, and I think she gets me in kind of my history with mental illness that dates all the way back to my childhood. And so it's been a frustrating process that still isn't resolved, trying to find a new psychiatrist that can do the medication management. I had a call into a place on Thursday that I thought was going to be promising. They said they'd call me on Friday, which they never did. I had another call into another psychiatrist. I think I may have called him on Wednesday. He never bothered to call me back. And so I'm still without a psychiatrist. This is just something else that is dragging on. And in October, I was having problems with the bathtub dripping, which was driving me crazy. I thought I'd get it fixed. Try to do it myself. I thought I got it fixed, then it would drip again. Try to fix it again, drip again. And I knew what the problem was. It was basically the gaskets within the handle had gone bad. That's why it was dripping. And finally on Thanksgiving, really ruined Thanksgiving. So I tried to fix it then, and the gaskets weren't working, and I thought the whole thing was going to need to be rebuilt. And so basically, I get in these moods where I become very rigid, and I can't do anything else until it's fixed. And I didn't want to call a plumber because the parts cost less than $10, and I didn't want to end up paying $150, $200 to have a plumber do that. So I basically just waited until didn't do anything until the the hardware store opened up. So I just sat around. That created stress. And then I had also noticed there was a puddle on the floor next to the toilet. The hose from that was leaking. I thought I could fix that, but the handle was so old. I wasn't able to turn it, and had I tried to turn it, it probably would have broke. So I did have to call a plumber for that, and something that was a relatively simple fix ended up costing roughly $300. So that created stress, anxiety, and then a couple of days about that, I started feeling something with my tooth that I knew I had to get taken care of, because if I didn't, it was just going to get worse and worse. So I went in. That ended up costing $500 near Christmas. And and I'm sure my kids were going to do sports, basketball, and practice for that was to begin last week. And the first time ever in my time coaching my kids, it was the first time ever that I've had to say, I need to take a week off. I can't start. And I just need to be left alone. And So hopefully tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Monday, I'll be more up to it and be able to do something productive. But basically, just been a lot of stress, and during the day, a lot of times I'll just take like a Tylenol PM or Motrin PM, and it's easier to sleep. During the day, just because I don't have to think, and I can be free of stress. And so I guess this year has really been shitty. Hopefully 2016 will not be anything like 2015, although I do get stressed out about taxes and all that type of stuff. And I just hope 2016 is better, because I'm really getting more out, and I'm just getting tired. And I did finish Lost in Hiatus, I want to say. Probably did that around, I think I finished maybe in August, possibly, maybe September. And I really thought I'd be able to take some time off and just enjoy it. And I really didn't get that satisfaction. I'm glad it's done, but automatically I've started writing a lot of new stuff, which is all posted on my poetry website, which is allpoetry/darkside writings. So hopefully I'll have like another collection together. Well, I don't think, I know I will. I'll have another collection together sometime next year. But unfortunately, my prediction back in April about 2015 being a shitty year has turned out to be true. And I just hope 2016 is better, because I'm getting really tired. So I normally don't say this anymore because it doesn't seem to do any good, but if you watch this, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Maybe something good will come out of it. Thanks. Bye.